After spending 3 weeks in Sri Lanka, we were starting to get into travel as a family. So we jumped on a plane and off we took. And without ever having been to India, what did we expect? Would it live up to our expectations or exceed them? Our first stop was Chennai in the eastern coast of southern India. So what are the obvious cliches of India? Firstly, that it's crowded and full of people, and at last count there was 1.5 billion people living in the country. So our first few days were therefore a bit of a shock. We'd booked an apartment on the beach about an hour and a half south of Chennai, and after we left the city, we basically didn't see anyone for the first 3 days. Just no one around.
So here we are at the pool at our hotel just south of Chennai in India. Let's see what we can see behind the gateway. And as per usual with our adventure, there's no one here. So let's go back into the pool for a bit.
But first, we need to go back in time. In Chennai, we grabbed a taxi, only 1.5 hours away according to Google Maps. There's a fair bit of traffic in Chennai, but then the road opened up. We'd already done 4 U-turns just to get out of the city. We drove past mountains of piled up garbage, as well as heaps of interesting roadside stops that we'd never seen before. Then more mountains of garbage. 4 hours of driving later, we were starting to get near our apartment, but it still required our taxi driver to stop and ask directions about 3 or 4 times, and of course another 4 to 5 U-turns. Finally, as the sun went down, we found our apartment. As there was no one around, we had to call the caretaker to let us in. And apart from the guard at the security gate, these were the only 2 people that we saw for the first 3 days in India.
And it's up there, 3 stories. That's our apartment.
So what did we see then? We decided to send up the drone and get a bird's eye view of everything. This is the first time we'd used our drone. And we saw our apartment and a long strip of presumably empty apartments. And then we saw that we had the beach all to ourselves, which was really nice. It was so beautiful and the ocean was warm and inviting. We were pretty happy with the footage of the drone caught that day. So we moved on to our next issue, that of communication. So in Sri Lanka we had purchased a couple new SIM cards at the airport, and we figured it'd be just as easy or maybe easier in India. But we soon discovered that nothing is easy in India. We didn't manage to get the SIM cards until we got to Puducherry a few days later. This meant no internet outside our apartment. Oh yeah, and we saw a dead turtle washed up on the beach. We found really good standard pools at a lot of our hotels. And Daphne's bathing ritual was climbing into the bucket provided at each shower. Another feature with our travels through India were the good roads and infrastructure, but there was lots of unfinished bridges that our driver told us had been like that for 5 years or more, but should be finished in the next 10 years or so. There was also lots of ingenious transport options as well.
Thank you so much. How do you remember say none?
When we got to Puducherry, we really started to see where all the people had been. Lots of cars, lots of bikes, lots of noise. And it didn't really matter if it was day or night. We started to see where all the 1.5 billion people had been hiding. Next time you can come and check out our Puducherry video and see what we discovered there. And as always, thanks for watching.